This is the Red Line Network.
Step up, step in, we got the facts on the screen. Talk of the town and the truth in between. Every hot take gets a minute to shine. Then we cut through line by line. Say it plain, don't dress it up. If the story bends, we call it out. For what it's worth, for what it's worth, we ask the room, what is it worth? For what it's worth, for what it's worth, no cheap applause, just the truth first.
Welcome, my little chickadees. It's Monday.
Names on the table, hands on
Monday's
the
blow,
wheel.
by the way.
Who gets the promise? Who gets the
Monday.
deal? From the hall to the curb.
Actually, Monday is not the beginning of the week.
We
Sunday
keep
is
it
actually
honest,
the
we
beginning of the
keep
week.
it still. Say it
A
plain.
tidbit there for you. Thanks to the,
Don't dress it
for what
up.
it's worth, pen, pen something.
We call it out.
Quartet, quintet, maybe it's a quintet. But welcome for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Red Line Radio Network. Why is it not showing? Let's throw this up there. There we go. I don't know why it wasn't showing. Still trying to get used to some stuff. Finally got music for this show. Oh, thank God. I'm still working on music for some other stuff. But there's a lot to talk about. The ongoing war that President Stupid has us entered in. That's always sporty. People pointing the fingers left and right, the blame game. It's getting out of control, to be quite honest with you. I'm tired of hearing the bullshit rhetoric on stuff. Some people say that people have Trump derangement syndrome. I call it Trump dumbass syndrome because he is a dumbass. By the way, let's get into some stuff here. I got some clips. I don't think I'll get busted for any of it because it's on the X. People throw up video clips. This is Representative Crowley. He's talking about the Epstein files and what he has seen in the Epstein files.
The evidence that they have, I know some of it's still under court seal. If they can make a case against folks, I think they should. I mean, this ring, I mean, it is massive. I mean, just look at the number of people involved, the number of people trafficked. I mean, it's revolting. It's just sick. And I think we've got to prosecute and bring to light as much of that as possible. This is how we turn the page on this. And hopefully have something like this never happen again.
One other thing.
Agreed. Whether you will ever see the full files or not, or the files come before Congress, the Senate, the X, Y, the Z, the representatives, the senators, the congressmen, blahs, remains to be seen. But I wholeheartedly agree. And there's still a lot of people out there who think that President Dumbass started the war to try to take the focus off what's going with the Epstein files. I think some of that might be true. But I'm sure stuff will come out. I found this amusing. Miss Leavitt, White House spokesperson, she went on a defensive, and of course, this is the Republicans' new strategy, and that's to blame everybody that came before them. This is her just basically blaming the Biden
They
administration
all got me
for
up to
everything.
speed pretty quickly, and now we're back out at the podium.
Well, speaking of the midterms, we know the tradition. The party that has the White House typically has an uphill battle for the midterms. And when you look at the top issue among voters right now, it seems to be the cost of living. So what steps have been taken by the White House to really address that, because that's going to be important as we head towards November.
Yeah. Well, the president and the White House, we fully recognize that. And I would remind your viewers and the American people of who caused the affordability crisis in this country. It was Joe Biden and it was the Democrats in this city when they were in power. And President Trump took immediate action on day one to fix that with his overall economic formula of tax cuts, deregulation, and energy dominance. That's what this administration has been working on every single day for the past year and a half. President Trump and Republicans signed the largest middle-class tax cut in history. Every single Democrat voted against it. President Trump and Republicans created Trump accounts, where children who are signing up today, like my daughter, will have nearly $300,000 worth of savings in these accounts by the time they are 18. That is giving our children the American dream on a silver platter in the touch of an app, and Democrats are opposed to that. How could you be? You know, you look at the price transparency the president is doing in the healthcare space, trying to bring down interest rates, mortgage rates, all of these things that he is doing will only get better if given 2 more years with a Republican Congress.
You mentioned something about healthcare costs, and when you actually
War we shouldn't be in. Gas prices way up. Price of fuel across the board is way up. And people want to say, well, gas was already over $3 when the Biden administration was in power. Correct. But now in my area, it's like $4.30. It went back up. $4.30. Of course, the war was supposed to be over. We weren't supposed to be any more wars. He was going to end all wars. He wasn't going to do any wars, period. When he talked about affordability, if you go back, take a look at some of the stuff that he said during his campaign. He was going to drop grocery prices day one. He was going to end the Russia-Ukraine war day one. He said a lot of things he was going to do day one. And I think we're 500 and some odd days into this administration. I want to talk shit about Biden. I was critical of Biden too on some stuff. But I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. It's Trump dumbass syndrome. As far as I'm concerned. Trump douche syndrome. Whatever. This clip of Mr. J.D. Vance. He's saying something about immunity. And I was always told way back when, just watch what you say or remember what you say because it might come back to haunt you. You can make your own judgment from listening to this.
The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job. I didn't say, and I don't think any other official within the Trump administration said that officers who engaged in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's absurd. What I did say is that when federal law enforcement officers violate the law, that is typically something that federal officials would look into.
You can come to your own conclusions with that one. Hey, whatever. Again, rhetoric, bullshit. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. Whoever gave me the thumbs up. Thanks to anybody that tunes in. I will, again, say this. I am not a political journalist. I'm not a reporter. I'm not a political pundit. I'm not an analyst. I'm just regular schmo who now is starting to look like Moses. Who listens to the issues, who listens to both sides of the argument, and then forms my opinion. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm independent. I'm right down the middle. Republicans have some great ideas. Yes. The Democrats have some great ideas. Republicans talk shit and some stupid fucking ideas. Yes. And Democrats, the same thing. I just like to form my opinion. Here's President Dumbass talking about trillions of dollars that I think it was the UAE and 2 others saying that he went over there or he got them to get them to give the United States trillions of dollars. I forget what the figure was. I think it was $6 million or $8 million. Ladies and gentlemen, the total GDP of all three countries is $3 trillion. But this is what he
King
had.
of Saudi Arabia said it. He said, sir, I was in Saudi Arabia, came back with $2 trillion for our country. I came back with $2 trillion from Saudi, $2 trillion from Qatar, $2 trillion from UAE. All did great.
Sometimes there just are no words. The next one, I believe, was either from today or the other day. I can't remember which day. They run congruent, obviously. And my brain is fried at the end of the day, for the most part. Comment. Jeffrey Baker is all Trump. Look, it's your right and your privilege to vote for whoever you voted for. And if you want to back that vote up till kingdom come, you've got that right. You've got that right. I am not going to come down on somebody for doing so. I'm not going to do it. We all vote for who we vote for. And there it is. I'm all Trump. And again, I'm not going to argue that. I just listen to the facts. I just listen to what's going on and I form my own opinion. But this is the president talking about a drug on the dead or people that were close to death. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
10 years, by the way, we think we've cut it in half, but you do need a period of time. Without waiting many, many years, we know the drug works because we've taken people that were dead. We had a person given the last rites, gone. The kids are crying and started them on this drug, and the person became better. It works, and some don't work. But you learn really fast. It's called the ultimate test, I think, right? They test all these things. They use animals all over the place. They use everything to test. Person's going to die. So.
So now we're giving drugs to people who are dead, bringing them back to life. Maybe that's not what he meant. I don't know. It just sounds funny. Next, this is the Agriculture Secretary, Brooke Rollins, giving pushback. And of course, at some point in this clip, she also blames the Biden administration.
Diesel prices now at $5.20 per gallon. It's about $1.50 than before the war started. What do you tell the ag community right now who's dealing with that?
Well, there's no doubt that our farm economy is in a challenging time, right? Inputs under the last administration up by about 40%, even with those diesel prices that you just mentioned. And I'm not underplaying that that's not important, but that's still less than it was during the Biden years. Now, we got it down way lower before Iran happened, but we're still battling to bring those input prices down, not just gas, diesel, fertilizer, seed, labor, et cetera. And those are all coming down, also opening up the markets. But we're going to get there, and the president's leadership on this is paramount. The next year, our exports are going to hit record numbers. Our inputs are going to keep decreasing, and we're going to get out of this in a big way.
I hear you on the Biden administration, but your administration's been in office for 18 months now, and obviously this is a war under this current president. The blueprint that was just passed calls for $12 billion in farm aid. It's normally a conservative principle of government shouldn't be picking winners and losers, right? And obviously the farmers are getting help while other industries are not. How do you square that?
Well, I think that what we are looking at, and I've really spent a lot of the last 18 months talking about farm security, is national security. The rural America, obviously a very important part of keeping America free and the ideas of our founding fathers. But it's much more than that. It really is national security.
Again, that's the strategy now. The Republicans going into the midterms, and that's just to blame Biden and Democrats. And again, I will say that I didn't like some of the things that the Biden administration did. Period. But again, it's funny to see them spin doctor and push back and just try not to catch themselves slip up. Those are politicians for you. Next clip is Mr. Heggs is saying one thing and then coming back and saying another thing months later.
Epic Fury decimated Iran's military and rendered it combat ineffective for years to come. Iran's navy is at the bottom of the sea.
They would try to impose their will on the waterways in ways that the world would not like. Call it a toll, call it a fee, call it an exchange, call it control. They would do something that they would try to hold it at issue.
Then you've got shrinking American munition stockpiles. Last month, Hegseth was dismissing concerns, and it was even an issue. Today, it was a reason the military needs an urgent cash infusion.
There is a crisis with those stockpiles right now in private industry.
That is a manufactured story that the media wants to peddle. And ultimately, our stockpiles are great, and they'll only get stronger.
We face critical shortfalls that threaten our ability to also simply pay our service members, rapidly replenish equipment and munitions, and sustain vital operations without disruption.
But there is one question where Hegseth never seems to waver, and it's this one. Who's to blame for all of this?
The disaster of what the Biden administration budgets gave us. It was not a priority to fund the Department of Defense under Joe Biden. Neglect of the Biden administration. I mean, the Biden administration ignored hypersonics. I don't know what Lloyd Austin did for 4 years. Again, that goes back to the Biden administration of divest to invest.
Familiar names, titles missing, over and over. But not the one currently in the Oval Office who decided to engage in this war.
Decimated him. That was back in February. Decimated him. And he was at the bottom of the sea, XYZ. And you come back and say we need billions of dollars for munitions and other stuff. Sometimes you just have to listen. Let them, it's an open canvas. It's a blank canvas. And just let them paint the picture with their words. On Friday, I believe it was Friday or Saturday, I don't remember. Was the Correspondence Center for the media, obviously. And of course, the Heat Miser got up there and did his thing. I believe this one is where he just starts hurling insults.
But this year, the association decided not to have a comedian, so they considered using Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. These guys, they're terrible. They're terrible. Stephen Colbert, these are people without talent. They get a lot, they have talent. You know who has talent? Their agent, getting them the money they get. They have no talent. But they are not comedians. They're not funny people. They're angry people. They're sick people. But the association really put on a big show, and they have somebody very special. I look forward to seeing him. And so they thought about going with a professional clown for entertainment, but Adam Shifty Schiff was not available. You know, he's known, I called him, I hate some people, you know, I shouldn't say this, I'm not supposed to hate, I'm supposed to love everybody, but he's a terrible person, he's a liar. And I called him Watermelon Head because he has the largest head I've ever seen with the smallest neck, pencil neck. How does that big, fat, ugly head stand on a little pencil neck? And then I'm told that even Rosie O'Donnell reached out from Ireland. She really wanted to be here in order to honor me. She loves me very much, and she was desperate to come back to the United States and pay her respect to Donald J. Trump. But that didn't work out, unfortunately, because nobody wanted her to come back.
Yeah, that's presidential. The next clip is him going after Caitlin Collins, which you knew was coming.
All different topics, all bad, everything bad. But here we are. I mean, here we are. In fact, when I'm finished, I'm going right back to the Oval Office. So I have to be doing okay. But we are all doing good together. That's why tonight, to show just how much I care about the press, and I want to save your ratings, I'm pleased to announce my intention to.
Sorry, this is him talking about intention to run again.
All different topics, all bad, everything bad. But here we are. I mean, here we are. In fact, when I'm finished, I'm going right back to the Oval Office. So I have to be doing okay. But we are all doing good together. That's why tonight, to show just how much I care about the press, and I want to save your ratings, I'm pleased to announce my intention to, and this is somewhat of a scoop, my intention to run for a 4th term as President of the United States. I will be doing that. I will be having an official, in fact, I think I have, I won 3 times. Now I'm going to do it again. Thank you. I'm going to do it. Should be easy. I'm getting very good at running for president. No, I won 3 times, did very well the 2nd time, by the way. It's a rigged election, but we don't have to talk about it. You know, it's interesting, when you come back and you do a good job like we did, and you don't care about it so much, but we do have to tighten up these elections because they really are in seriously bad shape. But
now, the next clip is where he goes after Caitlin Collins, and she's done nothing to deserve it. It's just who he
they'll learn their
is.
lesson. But I want to personally congratulate CNN's Caitlin Collins on receiving her award. It was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake, but I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiles. I said, Caitlin, do you ever smile? Smile. You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News. You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just smile. But we attack, and
Yeah. Again, blank canvas. Let them paint a picture. I said before this last election, this was just going to be a personal vendetta tour, and he does everything to prove me right. That's all this is this term. It's just a personal vendetta tour. Doesn't give a fuck about you, me, average Joes. Could care less. It's just a personal vendetta tour. Next clip, Wolf Blitzer having some cojones. He is presenting an award, I believe, for the New York Times. One of their reporters, and you can see how annoyed the dried up peach is.
And now the Katharine Graham Award for Courage and Accountability, named for the legendary Washington Post publisher, and it comes with a prize of $10,000. This year's award goes to the Wall Street Journal. The Journal's courageous reporting on President Trump's past relationship with financier Jeffrey Epstein triggered the release of the so-called Epstein files, thousands of documents that might otherwise have remained hidden from the public. And despite the president's threat of a lawsuit, the Journal published a story about a provocative letter to Epstein bearing President Trump's signature. Trump quickly filed a $20 billion lawsuit against the Journal, revealing reporter Khadija Safdar's home address. Her family had to be relocated. The Journal was kicked off of Air Force One, but the reporters continue to file revelatory stories. Please welcome the winners of the Katharine Graham Award from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, talk about tension, ladies and gentlemen. It's just fun to see politicians cringe sometimes when the truth hits them. I think this is also from the dinner. I believe this is Mr. Trump talking about how broke everyone's going to be.
People have no idea how lucky you are. When I'm gone, you're all going to be broke. Your business model is going to be finished. No, it's true. When I'm not around, you're going to be broke. There's not going to be anybody to report on. Nobody gives a damn about anybody else. The New York Times the other day had 5 stories about me. You know, before I got into politics, in my whole life, I had 7 front page stories. This is years of success. I think 6 were good, 1 was bad. I had 5 stories, 7, 5 good. Yeah, I had a total of 7 stories on the front page of the New York Times. That's not bad. Now I average about 3 or 4 a day, all different topics, all bad, everything bad. But here we are. I mean, here we are. In fact, when I'm finished, I'm going right back to the Oval Office, so I have to be doing okay. But we are all doing good together. That's why tonight, to show just how much I care about the press and...
So this is him basically saying, you're going to be broke when I leave. You won't have anything to write about, blah, 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 blah. Next thing, talk about ICE. You know, not that shit that hangs from your house in the wintertime. This is basically ICE being exposed for going after people.
Mr. Salgado, they said falsely that there were drugs in his van. This is a guy who got up every day for decades and busted his butt to provide for his family. And this administration lies and says he had drugs in his van. The DA yesterday told us he thought once the lab results came back, that lie would be disproven. We learned late last night, early this morning, the lab results are back. Right. No drugs in the car. It is disgusting what this administration is doing to families like this.
They say he had drugs in the vehicle. He did not have drugs in the vehicle. But that's what they said. Just made up shit, make up stuff as you go along. And that's what these people do. Next. I should have wrote down the representative's name, but this is them basically saying that this administration has no clue.
But I'll go to recent history, which is when Pete Hegseth told the country just last year that we had, quote, obliterated Iran's ability to create nuclear weapons. That's a direct quote from the Secretary of Defense. So for them to continue to say that's the reason they're prolonging the war, again, just shows that they don't know what they're doing, given their past statements.
Truth. I believe the next clip is the heat miser talking about one of the casualties of war. He just goes on this diatribe. I don't even know what the fuck he's saying.
When I go to Dover, I read charts on all of the young people, and some are unbelievable. Some are a little bit, they got a little bit of a couple of little bad things put in. This is a son who is like a flawless, perfect person. Beautiful, beautiful son. Handsome in every way. Brilliant. Respected by everybody. His sheet read so beautifully, and I told them that. Their beloved son, and his name was Lieutenant Tyler Feehan, and he was a person that was going all the way. He was going to be a general. He would have been a general very quickly. He was heading in that path.
Yeah, they got some stuff that, yeah. This is somebody's son they're talking. He's talking about. Yeah, I read all the files, and there's some of them are just like, eh. There's some other stuff in here. I don't even know if I want to get to it. I think this is. Oh, here's another.
I had a wonderful father, right? And he was a hard worker. He was in the real estate business. And for him, super luxury. This is all he didn't want planes. They didn't have planes in those days, I don't think.
They didn't have planes on his Father's Day, by the way. See, if Trump was born in 46 or 47, 46, his father was probably born, I don't know, middle of the 1900s, but they didn't have planes. People wanted to talk about Joe Biden's faculties. It's just like me saying 30 years from now, in my Father's Day, we didn't have cars. And then I believe this one. I don't know which one this is. This is either him blaming Biden for prices, or this is him basically telling everybody at this rally, the kids, that he's done more for their parents than they have.
Yeah, Mary, I hate to say it, you wouldn't have an auto industry right now if they got elected. You wouldn't have an auto industry. But I don't know what happened to the guy. Somebody said he got fired, but I can tell you, the people that count, those people love Trump. Because I've done more for you than your parents, okay? Your parents are good. I'm not going to knock your parents, but I have been better to you than your parents. That I can tell you, and they would agree with me. Wherever they may be, they would agree. Today, I'm proud.
That's right, kids. When you look back on it, he will have done more for you than your parents will. Just two other clips. This is from, I believe, a council meeting. Don't remember where. Should have wrote it down. But you know, you go to a council meeting, you have the right to do anything. And then one of the council members says, you know, if you clap for any reason or you yell out for any reason, we should have you removed. That's your constitutional right as a, you know, you're at a council meeting. You should have the constitutional right to express, to voice. This is what happened.
It was very clear at the beginning that each person is given their 2 minutes, and we're trying to be respectful of that. Snapping, clapping, any other rude comments or anything, we will ask you to leave. You've been finally warned, and we're done.
We are who matter. We are the people, and the table belongs to us. Thank you.
All right, next one. Will you take the next person off the class or anything, please? Thank you.
Yes, yes. I have right to speak. Yeah. I have a right to clap. So I don't care. Come on, drag me out. Come on, drag me out. No, don't. Please let go of this. I would better get that.
No, Jay.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, turn over. Come on, get on your feet. Get on your feet, dude.
It's not okay. Not okay, guys. For clapping one time.
That's what some shit boils down to. You can't even express yourself. It's just clapping. Now, if the man was yelling at, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, this is bullshit, different story. He was just clapping in support. The last clip I'm going to get to today, or tonight, this evening, what is it? 7:37 here on the East Coast, 4:37 on the West Coast. I know Lindsey Graham just passed, and again, prayers and thoughts to his family and friends. But this is him, and I don't know how this got leaked. I'm not going to say a word. You make your own judgment.
Do you have it on speaker, Ryan?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. All right. Connecting you now.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, baby, Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay. How are you?
I couldn't. I'm just so impressed. Glad to be your friend.
I'm glad you are, my friend.
I'm going to meet with the president this weekend. I'm going down to Doral. I'm going to try to get him to join with y'all in Lebanon to maybe fly some with you. Would you like that?
Yeah, I get that. I think you have a point, but I've been thinking about the other side of it for a second. We're concentrating right now on Iran. If we tell Hezbollah that we're going all the way, we threaten them, but if we actually do it, then they have no reason not to go all the way against us. And right now, that's not our interest. We can do it later.
Well, well, that's actually good counsel. I'll put it out there as an idea. We can always go back to it.
No, it's not AI generated. That's an actual leakage of something. So again, form your own opinions. I'm going to end it there. First, we're on day whatever the fuck we are in the war. And of course, when they bring it up to this president, well, we were in Vietnam 19 years. We were in World War II for 4. And again, if you think you're better off now than before, okay, whatever. But if you're not, again, and I hate to say it like this, but 80 years ago, there was someone else like this whoever didn't agree with him, who saw what happened. So I'm not saying that's going to happen today, because that's not. But still, so I'm going to end it there. 8 o'clock, I will see everybody on the Red Line Radio Network for early evening sports buffet with the Ginch. Sixers get LeBron. Whoop-de-doo. I'll have my thoughts on that, thoughts on some other stuff. We are in the second week of NFL training camps. We are coming into the stretch now for playoff pushes for Major League Baseball. What will August hold for some of these teams? Some teams reeling and dealing. And of course, some other stuff. College football media days, I believe, wrapping up this week or next week. And then right around the corner. Let's say July 27th. So we are T-minus less than 5 weeks till opening weekend of college football. So before I go, I always have to do this because I don't want to forget, because I forget all the time. Let me go back to it here. Now let me take my ugly ass off the screen. Throw this up. So that's going to do it for me for this version. For what it's worth, midterms fast approaching. Vote wisely. Again, I will see everybody at 8 o'clock here on the Red Line Radio Network for early evening sports buffet with the Ginch. I'm out. I'll see you later.
Loud, we lean in close, one clear voice against the smoke. No pretty spin, no empty pose. Say it again so everybody knows.
Redline Network introduces our newest partnership, Outlaw Light. Outlaw is crafted for all of the beer drinking patrons of America. They aren't preaching or teaching, their mission plain and simple, to provide a high quality beer at an affordable price. Outlaw is crisp, crushable, refreshing. Available by the case, tall boys, 16-ounce 6-packs or singles. Go to outlawbeer.com to find the nearest can or tavern near you. The Redline Network proudly raises their cans to you. Stay bold, Outlaw.